Because it is one thing, Honorable Speaker, for the Honorable Pio and I being a lawyer, and I'm not a lawyer, Honorable Speaker, and I have asserted I am not a lawyer, and I have no desire for...
Allow the majority leader another 3 minutes to finish.
Honorable Speaker, I was saying I have no desire of ever becoming a liar. Therefore, because lawyers, Honorable Speaker, are always intent on reading the law in the way it favors them. Because that is what they do as liars. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, because I'm not a liar, Honorable Speaker, I read the Constitution as an accountant who is able to read good English, interpret the Constitution as it is. Article 239 is not read in... Point of order.
Honorable Kajwang, TJ Kajwang. CJ Kajwang.
Madam Speaker, of course the majority leader wants to have some very humorous opportunity in the House to make this debate lively. But Honorable Speaker, majority leader is calling us lawyers liars, and is calling you, who is on the seat of the Speaker, a great lady of this country, that all that you have done all your career is to be a liar, and is facing you eyeball to eyeball and calling you a liar in the National Assembly. Well, Otiende and I, we are small people in this society. But Madam Speaker, you of all the people, you are a liar. Madam Speaker, is he in order to call us lawyers who have struggled our horse years and practiced more than 30 years in this country, that we are just but liars?
Honorable Leader of Majority, I hope to God you are not calling me a liar, but what I heard was that you were saying liar or lawyers. Please confirm that you're not calling the lawyers in the House liars. Clarify.
You know, Honorable Speaker, I have tremendous respect for liars. And our pronunciation, Honorable Speaker, the other day I was having tea with my good friend, the Honorable TJ Kajwang. And the Honorable TJ Kajwang spoke to me about a sip. And I was wondering, what sip? And because we were sipping tea, Honorable Speaker, only to come to learn he was speaking about the ship that had deployed the oil in Mombasa. Therefore, our pronunciation, Honorable Speaker, based on where we come from, varies. And the Honorable TJ Kajwang should forgive me, because where I come from, L-R-W, where you have W and Y, we have that difficulty. So I have the advocates of this country, let me use the word advocates. The advocates who serve like the Honorable TJ Kajwang are great people, and including yourself, Honorable Speaker, and you know I have tremendous respect for you and other advocates in this country. But I was speaking about, I have no intention ever of becoming one of them, because I'm an accountant. And I'm able to read, because going back to my point, I'm able to read the Constitution and interpret it, because the Constitution is not written in a lot of legalese, it's plain English. And Article 239, Honorable Speaker, of the national security, that defines our national security organs, says that the national security organs are the Kenya Defense Forces, National Intelligence Services, and the National Police Service. And indeed, Honorable Speaker, if you read on Article 239, sub-article 6, it says that Parliament shall enact legislation to provide for the functions, organization, and administration of the national security organs. And therefore, our National Police Service is part and parcel of our national security organs that the National Security Council can seek to be deployed to restore order, or in case of emergency, as that has been sought in the country.
The Honorable Member for Kisumu West, Honorable Rosa Buyu.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. From the onset, I'd like to say that I'm a member of the committee that has presented this motion. Madam Speaker, unfortunately, in the final stages when this report was being written, I had to dash to my constituency and therefore was not able to be present to append my signature as a dissenting voice to this report. Madam Speaker, I'm not an advocate and I'm not a lawyer, but I stand here to speak as a citizen of this country. Madam Speaker, I want to speak on behalf of millions of Kenyans who are not able to give their views this morning on this motion. Madam Speaker, I speak for thousands of residents in Lamu. I speak for thousands of residents in the North Rift. Madam Speaker, I stand to speak for residents who are in Northeastern. And I also stand to speak for all those residents in Sondu who in the recent past have experienced the skirmishes of the clashes that have cost many Kenyans their lives. Madam Speaker, the UN recommendation report clearly states that there should be one policeman at a ratio of 450 citizens. In Kenya today, Madam Speaker, we have one policeman to the ratio of 1,152 Kenyans. Madam Speaker, the result of this can clearly be seen in this country, where the impact of few police officers is felt in the violent occurrences in many parts of this country, where many Kenyans end up losing their lives. Madam Speaker, we've been told that security does not lie in the numbers of security officers. That might be true, but Madam Speaker, you can only train and make good quality of numbers that you have. Madam Speaker, we know that charity begins at home. Madam Speaker, where is the sense in taking 1,000 police officers to Haiti when Kenyans are dying in need of protection, in need of service from their police officers? Madam Speaker, the government or the head of the government took an oath to protect the lives of its citizens. Madam Speaker, you don't protect the lives of your citizens by taking police officers who are supposed to protect them away from them to a land called Haiti. You can only protect their lives by enhancing the numbers and enhancing the security amongst your citizens. Madam Speaker, we've also been told in this report, and we've heard from the leader of majority, that Kenya owes it to the international community, which we are part of. Madam Speaker, if you cannot contain and protect lives of your people, surely where do you have the guts to take away to protect lives of people in Haiti? Madam Speaker, we've been told that Haiti is a land of gangs where no president can sit pretty, because so far 4 presidents have been beheaded and murdered, and the gangs maraud the whole land of Haiti. Madam Speaker, I want to agree with our leader of minority that in taking these 1,000 officers to Haiti, we are actually doing nothing but sending them there as sacrificial lamb, because in a country that's ruled by gangs, in a country where there's no law and order, in a country where there's no respect for human life, why, Madam Speaker, give me one reason why we take 1,000 of our officers into that land. Madam Speaker, I stand here to register my dissent and opposition to this project of taking our members to...
Mike, Honorable Speaker, I'm sorry to disrupt my sister.
Honorable Buyu to finish.
Honorable Speaker, I was rising on standing order 106 on irrelevance and repetition because I have listened to the Honorable Rosa Buyu continuously repeat herself on issues to do with Sondu. And when I looked at the motion before the House, Honorable Speaker, at least towards the end as she was completing, she was speaking about Haiti, because the debate was on the deployment to Haiti. Honorable Speaker, more importantly, I have a copy of the report. And the Honorable Rosa Buyu, as she has asserted, is a member of this committee. And Honorable Speaker, I was going to advise Honorable Speaker the kind of things Honorable Rosa Buyu was alluding to, are things I have seen a very diligent member of that committee in the name of Honorable Kaluma, what he did. He has been able to express himself in a dissenting report. The Honorable Rosa Buyo, I'm told, never even attended the committee sittings to benefit from, and the minutes are there, Honorable Speaker. I'm not just speaking to things I do not know, because minutes of the committee are in the report. The Honorable Rosa Buyo never attended a single meeting of the committee, and now seeks to speak to the gallery with a lot of irrelevancies about Sondu and other areas. Honorable Speaker, I will just beg that we be relevant in line with Standing Order 106 and restrict ourselves to the issue of Haiti, not Sondu, not Kikuyu, not Baringo, and other areas, Honorable Speaker.
I think, Honorable Rosa, I'll give you 2 minutes so that you can finish because you were interrupted.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, for the records, I was in the meeting, the joint meeting of the two committees, Committee of National Assembly and Committee of the Senate. And I deliberated, and even in that committee, I actually voiced my opposition. Madam Speaker, I've clearly stated that I wasn't able to come in the last committee when the report was being finalized, because I owe it to my people to be in the constituency when the duty calls, and I was there. Madam Speaker, the reason why I'm talking about Sondu, Baringo, Lamu, Northeastern, and the other places is because those places are experiencing violent, that's actually leading to deaths of many people, Madam Speaker. It is the police who are charged with responsibility to protect Kenyans. These are the police we want to take away from Kenyans to take to Haiti. Madam Speaker, the leader of majority sometimes should learn to be relevant himself instead of standing up on useless point of orders. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable TJ, your point of order.
Madam Speaker, I have been listening to the debate which is going in the House. Let us be sober. The onerous duty, Madam Speaker, that has been given to us as the National Assembly to approve forces deployment is a very important thing. And so let us take out emotions and let us look at facts, because this, in my recollection, is the very first time we are doing this. And at the end of the day, it will be our appendage to the force distribution or deployment as a mandate of the National Assembly. Madam Speaker, I'm just looking at the law so that we do not do something unconstitutional and so that we don't do something outside the law. Section 108 of the Police Service Act states that the President may, on the application of the government of a reciprocating country and so on. I have looked at the functions. Madam Speaker, I've looked at the functions of the police service, and I have looked through all the functions that are given to the Inspector General, except for 108, the only section in which the President may send police service is section 108. The rest of the sections, police service are a homeland. They protect inside the country. The only place in which police service can go outside the country is under 108. And under 108, it begins by saying the President can do that, but in a reciprocating country. Madam Speaker, I would want the chair to express itself to apply its mind to whether Haiti is a reciprocating country. Whether Haiti is a reciprocating country. Because if it is not a reciprocating country, over all the things we have said, police service is supposed to help us internally, not outside. And the authority given by the law is only the authority to reciprocating countries. And so, Madam Speaker, I think this is a very important issue that even as we are going on, I don't say that we stay the proceedings, but I'm asking that the speakership should apply its mind and come back with a reasoned communication from the chair, whether in the facts of this matter, Haiti is a reciprocating country for which we as National Assembly have the requisite jurisdiction to approve the forces to go to a foreign country. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Kamkunji, Honorable Yusuf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand to support this resolution, and I do so as a former member of the United Nations and full respect for the UN Charter and our role as a member of the international community. In fact, Madam Speaker, the Haiti government had requested the United Nations Security Council to help the stabilization of that country, on whose security situation is in dire straits at the moment. The situation in Haiti is grim. Law and order has collapsed, and the people of Haiti and the government of Haiti need support. And as a result of that, the UN Security Council passed a resolution. This is a resolution which was passed on the 2nd of October 2023, which approved the deployment of UN troops and UN police to stabilize the situation in Haiti. And every UN resolution has, which deploys peacekeeping, has a police component. Under Chapter 6 or Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, the UN has the powers to deploy peacekeeping forces, peace enforcement forces, and that includes a police component, which in this particular case, the Republic of Kenya has been asked, and at the request of the Haitian government, and at the request of the United Nations. We are now obliged to deploy a police force to Haiti. We are not an island, Madam Speaker. We don't live in an isolated world. We are part of the international community. And Haiti is not an isolated country for us. Haitians are of African descent. And Kenya, as a member of the African Union, fully supports not only the 55 African countries that are members of the African Union and also members of the United Nations, but all the countries with people of African descent, which includes the entire Caribbean nations, Brazil, and many other countries. And with the history of Haiti as it is, we've had a major interaction with the people and the leadership of Haiti over the years. From 1945, if you remember when the Pan-African Conference was held in Manchester in the UK, the 5th Pan-African Conference, Jomo Kenyatta, who became our president, attended that. We also had a Haitian delegation. We had a large number of Caribbean delegation, including CLR James, William Dubois. So we have always been part of the Pan-African movement, of which Haiti, as an important country, is an integral part. We are not, this is not the first time we are deploying internationally, Madam Speaker. There's a lot of commotion here. Can you,
Honorable Speaker,
we cannot engage in a proper debate.
we're having serious disruption from Korea here.
I can-
A very important member is...
Your first time, I will relax.
No. Madam Speaker,
Honorable Caroli, please do not address the member. You can only address the House through the chair. Thank you. Okay, proceed, Honorable.
Madam Speaker, for the information of this House, this is not the first time Kenya has deployed internationally in peacekeeping operations. We have deployed more than 15 times. I personally remember serving in a number of peacekeeping missions. We deployed in East Timor. East Timor at that time did not have a government. The government had collapsed, and the United Nations deployed peacekeeping forces and ran that country until it became independent. And we had a police force. We have also deployed, Madam Speaker, in Namibia, in Cambodia, in Yugoslavia, in Bosnia-Herzegovina, in East Timor, as I have said, in Sierra Leone, in Kosovo, in Angola. And at the moment, we have police officers serving in conflict areas in South Sudan, in Somalia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan, and Western Sahara. So our forces have been in place, and therefore what we are doing now is just deploying in support of a UN resolution to keep peace in Haiti. And we need to support the people of Haiti. We need to be part of the solution to the problem of Haiti. And
the Honorable Sarah Korere.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also rise to support the motion. And indeed, Madam Speaker, this motion is properly before this House. Madam Speaker, it is true that Kenya is a member of the United Nations, and we have the responsibility to be our brother's keeper. And for avoidance of doubt, Madam Speaker, I want to refer this House to the report of the Committee on Security. Madam Speaker, Kenya has posted its police officers to other missions in the other years as late as 1989. And Madam Speaker, in 1989 to 1990, Kenya deployed its officers to Namibia, and we sent 30 officers to Namibia. In 1992 to 1993, Kenya sent its officers to Cambodia, 20 of them. In 1992 to 1995, police officers were sent to the former Yugoslavia, 50 officers were sent there. In 1995 to 1996, Kenyan officers were sent to Bosnia, and 20 officers were sent there. In 1999 to 2002, we sent 40 officers to East Timor. In 1998, we sent police and civilian support to Croatia, and 20 officers were sent. 1998 to 1999, officers were sent to Sierra Leone mission, and 5 officers were sent. Madam Speaker, in 1999 to 2005, officers again were sent to Sierra Leone, and 51 officers were sent. In 1999 to 2008, officers were sent to Kosovo, and 98 officers were sent to Kosovo. In the year 2005 and 2006, the African Union sent Kenyan officers, 50 of them to Darfur. And Madam Speaker, to date, we have officers in South Sudan, we have officers in Somalia, we have officers in the DRC, we have officers in ABA, we have officers in Western Sahara, we have police officers in New York, we have police officers in Italy and Addis Ababa. And Madam Speaker, when this thing came before our committee, we raised several questions. One among them was, Haiti is a French-speaking country. How are we going to send our officers there? And Madam Speaker, it came to my realization that security officers speak in silence. And that is why if you come to Laikipia today, Madam Speaker, where the British Army used to train since colonial times to date, you will get children of mixed races. And these officers don't speak in Maasai language, and the Maasais don't speak the British language. But how these things happen, it is because security officers speak in silence. And Madam Speaker, Burundi is sending its troops there. Burundi is a Swahili and French-speaking nation, and they're going to give support to our troops. Senegal is sending its troops there. Madam Speaker, we are a global nation. we are an international community. When the world is not safe, when Haiti is not safe, we are not safe. What is happening in Haiti, Madam Speaker, is some gangs terrorizing locals.